Hello students, welcome to your very first physics lesson in grade 9. I'm so excited to start this journey with you. Today we are going to explore a big questions. What is physics and why does it matter? Look at the quote said by Albert Einstein. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Physics is all about asking questions, being curious about the world around us. By the end of this lesson, I promise you will see physics everywhere around you. So, before we dive in, let me tell you what you will achieve today. By the end of this lesson, each of you will be able to define physics and explain what it's all about. And second, you identify the major branch of physics. There are quite a few and they are all fascinating. Third, you can give examples of how physics show up in your everyday life and connect to other subjects. And finally, you recognize some famous physicists and their contribution to our world. These are our goals, students, and I'm confident that we will hit all of them. So let's start with the basics. Whoever wondered why the sky is blue? Or why a ball bounces? Or how your phone works? That curiosity is exactly where physics begins. The word physics comes from ancient Greek word which means physis, which simply means the nature. So physics is literally the study of nature. In more scientific terms, physics is the branch of natural science that studies three big things. First, it studies matter, which means anything that has mass and take up space. That is you or me, this desk, or the air we breathe. All are matters. With physics studies these things. Second, physics studies about energy, the ability to do work or cause changes. Think of energy in food, or energy in electricity, or in sunlight. Physics studies this. And the third, physics studies about the interaction between matter and energy. How matter and energy affect each other. Physics tries to answer the big questions. How does the universe work? What are the basic rules that everything flows? So it is a quantitative science that describes the world, the universe, and natural phenomena using mathematics. So there are different ways to understand physics. Let me give you three perspectives. The first perspective is a classical perspective. This is a traditional view. Physics studies matter, energy, and the fundamental force of nature. It is the foundation of everything. This is one perspective. The second perspective is a modern perspective. Today, physics goes even deeper. It investigates principles that govern everything from the smallest particle inside an atom to the largest galaxy in the universe. So it's all connected. The other perspective is a practical perspective. Why does a car need friction to stop? Why does a spoon in hot cup of coffee get warm? These are all physics. So you see, physics is not just something in the textbook. It is happening all around you right now. Let me give you some everyday example. And I want you to think, do you have any example from your own life? We will come back to that. Let me give you some examples. Walking on a slippery surface. Have you ever walked on ice or wet tile? Almost fallen. That's physics. The force of friction between your shoes and the ground keeps you from slipping. That's why you walk easily on rough ground but struggle on a smooth surface. A slippery surface is lack friction, so you struggle to walk. This explained by physics. Let me add one more example. Electric fans, Have you ever wondered how an electric fan works? It converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. The blade spins because of electromagnetic principles inside the motor. That is physics in action. So, if you're curious about that, how it works, you can get what is behind, which is physics. Let me add one more example. Look at your smartphone. Your phone is like a physics laboratory in your pocket. It has sound, it has light, sound wave or acoustic is for calls, light or optics for screen, electromagnetic wave for signal and Wi-Fi. All comes down to the physics. So physics is around you. That's why we study physics. So now you might be asking yourself, why do I need to study physics? That is a fair question. Here is why. We can answer this question one by one. First, physics help you understand how device works. From cars and aeroplanes to smartphones and refrigerators, knowing physics makes you see the magic behind these technologies. The other point why we need to study physics allows us to explore unknown parts of the nature, from tiny subatomic particles to the massive galaxy millions of years away. The third point that you need to study physics is physics supports other subjects. If you want to understand chemistry or biology or geology or astronomy, you need to physics. The foundation is physics. Physics is the foundation of all natural science. So, and finally, you have to study physics because physics develops your critical thinking and problem solving ability, problem solving skill. That's why we need to have study physics. Physics is a vast subject, so scientists have divided into branches because specialized areas that focus on specific aspects of nature. We need to break down physics on specific aspects of nature to study. Let's go through them. Have a look at this table. One branch of physics is mechanics, which studies about motion and force. The other branch is acoustic, which studies sound. And here comes optics, which is another branch of science. It studies light and how it behaves. Thermodynamics, also another branch of physics, which studies of heat and temperature. Electromagnetics, also a branch of physics. It studies electric and magnetic field and their interaction. Nuclear physics, also a branch of physics, which studies atomic nuclei and what happens inside them. Astrophysics, also another branch, which apply physics to study the stars, planet, and universe. So these are the 7 branches. So let me zoom in one branch for mechanics, because it is where we will spend a lot of our time this year. We go through majority of the point in our physics is mechanics. So it's a study how objects move and what force makes them move that way. It's divided into 2 areas. Mechanics can be divided into 2 areas: classical mechanics and quantum mechanics. Classical mechanics deals with everyday visible objects like car moving down the road, a ball thrown in the air, the earth orbiting the sun. This is physics you can see and feel, which is studied under classical mechanics. The other branch of mechanics is quantum mechanics, which deal with a super small world like atom, electron, and particles. Here is the big picture. Physics is the foundation of modern society. Think about all the technology we use every day. Think of the smartphone, computer, internet, space exploration. All of them. Without physics, none of this would exist. Physics is a tool for making the world better. So let's come to historical contributor to physics, the father of physics. The father of physics. Physics didn't just appear. Brilliant minds through history built it step by step. Let me introduce you to some key figures. The first one is Sir Isaac Newton. He gave us the law of motion and the law of universal gravitation. The story goes that an apple falling from a tree inspired his thinking. The other brilliant mind scientist is Michael Faraday. He discovered electromagnetic induction, which is the principle behind electric generator and transformer. Without him, our modern electrical world wouldn't exist. The other one is the James Prescott Joule. He established the mechanical equivalent of heat, linking mechanics and thermodynamics. The other scientist is Marie Curie. She discovered radioactivity and won 2 Nobel Prizes. Her work led to X-rays and cancer treatment. The other famous one is Albert Einstein. He developed the theory of relativity and explained the photoelectric effect, which is the fundamental to modern electronics. These great minds didn't just learn physics. They made new discoveries that changed the world. Who knows? One of you can be a future physicist. Understand? So, now we are coming to conclusion. Let's summarize. Let's quickly review what we learned today. Physics is a study of matter, energy, and their interaction. The word comes from the Greek physis word, meaning nature. The major branch of physics includes mechanics, acoustics, optics, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, nuclear physics, and astrophysics. Physics is everywhere, as you learned earlier, from falling fruit to smartphone to medical imaging. You don't have to look far to find physics in action. It is around you. Physics connects the other fields like chemistry, energy, biology, medicine, and finally, great physicists like Newton, Curie, Einstein have shaped our modern world with their discoveries. So, this is just the beginning. You will see how all these ideas come together as you go through the course. The next time we will explore more about how physics connects society and the scientific method. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Remember, stay curious. Physics is all around you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.